Hey there, everyone, and a very happy Thursday to you all. I do hope that you're having a fabulous crafty week so far and you have something nice planned for the weekend. As you can see, I have the fabulous Yana here, and she will be talking through a really pretty card that I know that you're going to love. The fabulous Angel is behind the badge today, so she'll be popping in all of the links. If you do share this live stream, you are in with a chance of winning a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. Hey, Yana.
Hey, Lydia, so good to be joining you today. Thank you so much for inviting me. We guys had a little bit of a hiccup just now. We were trying to connect to set everything up. And since I don't really do these lives very often, I had some technical difficulties. And we managed just in the nick of time to connect everything and join.
We did well. There is always going to be a crafty goblin around. And we can just hope that we kind of sedate him enough to get through this one without any more hiccups. So I have invited you here because we think that you are amazing and that you do some really beautiful cards. When you look at a Yana card, you can definitely see that you have created it. So the card that you created today, was there any kind of special thought around that when you created this?
Well, first of all, it's been such a long time since I have worked with Altenew products. It has been a treat. And can I just say, it's also been a while since I received an Altenew package, and the package that I got came in such a beautiful box. So if you guys have not ordered from Altenew, go ahead and order something, because just the box itself gives you such incredible emotions, you know, seeing the box, seeing all that color outside the box, seeing that it says Altenew. I felt like a kid on Christmas. Seriously, like it was a fantastic box. Speaking of a card, I mean, I was just inspired by the products. I was inspired by the die set and the coordinating stencils. I really could not wait to get my hands inky and try to create something fun.
Yeah, so I'm with you with the boxes, right? Because we have a lot of different kind of packaging options, and we just like to kind of inspire people just even before they open the box. So that's
very true. So kudos to Altenew for the fantastic box design. I mean, I would probably probably placing orders just because of the box. There is one other brand that I like to shop online, and they always have like this most amazing box and the most amazing packages. And every time I place an order, every time I get a box from them, it's not a crafting company, it's like a makeup company. And every time I get a box from them, it's like a little party. It's like a little celebration. And that's the feeling that I got when I received the box from Altenew. It was just,
it's just even before you get it, you know that's not going to be bad things in there. You know that there's some goodies in it. So
absolutely, yeah. So yeah, good job on the box. And I don't know if there's like different box sizes with different box designs.
Yes.
Okay, well, I got one. It was a pretty big box with the Altenew stamp wheel, by the way. Fabulous tool. So my box was big. It was beautiful. It was, I think the color was like magenta with the beautiful blooms. Oh, inspiring. Inspiration right there. I mean, you get your box and you're like, wow, drop all the things, go to your craft room and create.
Oh yeah, we have definitely had people using the packaging for cards as well. So it's really great that you're loving that. All right, okay, let's stop waxing lyrical about the packaging and let's get into what was in the packaging. So what are you going to be using today?
So let me grab my supplies. I have limited desk space, so bear with me as I have quite a mess here, as any crafter does, I'm sure. So the set that I'm using today, it's the fabulous Stencil Art Romantic Roses layering stencil set, and then there's an add-on with the dies that cut the stencil designs out. I think this is a brilliant set because, well, you have the stencils to ink blend the flowers, so you can ink blend them on a background, you can ink blend them on a card, or you can cut them out with the die. Brilliant. Seriously, like, again, it's been a while since I've used Altenew products. I used to be on the Altenew design team many years ago.
It wasn't that long ago I was there.
How many years ago was it? Like, how old is Altenew?
Oh, well, we're 10.
Well, there you go. It's been more than, 9 years ago. So I've missed Altenew products in my craft room. I've missed Altenew products in my hands. So yeah, seriously, guys, great job on the stencils, on all the little details when it comes to the stencils, on all the little, like labeling and etching.
The etching is fabulous.
Yes, that makes using the stencils such an easy and enjoyable, a pleasant task.
Yeah. Also, with that etching, it means that we're not wasting space on a stencil. So just using like one stencil to line up. I think that having that, I mean, sometimes you do need to wiggle it, but
Yes,
having the etching makes it easy, and we're just really maximizing the space that we have.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Shall we get on and create a card?
Yes. So let's go ahead and get started. I should probably flip to the head camera.
So Yana is going to create a card, and I am going to follow through with her. If you kind of are watching this on replay, you can grab your supplies and you can create the same card as Yana as well. So really have a play around with that. Okay, over to you, Yana.
Okay, so this is the card that we will be making. And like I said, we will be using the fabulous Stencil Art Romantic Roses stencil set and the coordinating dies. Now, what I have found when it comes to these products, I like to do my die cutting first and then do the stenciling, because this way it's just easier for me to line things up. So here I have the dies ready, and I have my die cutting machine ready, and we're going to do some cutting first. Let me get the stamp wheel out of the way. Sorry guys, things are...
Oh, no worries. So are you going to use one of the images or two of the images? Is there a specific one that you're going to use?
Yes, I am using this die, so this rose. So we have two large roses in this die set. I'm just using one. Well, I did ink blend all of them, but I have found that I like, let me make this out of the way a little bit so you guys can see this better. So I have found that I like this rose better for this card layout. So I'm just going to use the coordinating die for this rose. I'm then going to use the die for the little bud, and also a die for this image, which looks like baby's breath to me. I'm not sure if that's the correct term for this image or this.
Yeah, I think it is baby's breath.
Okay, so these are the three dies that we are using, but you can definitely use the other rows if you want to. Here, I do have the other rows, and you can kind of see how it looks. So to me, that first rose just looks a little bit better.
That's your favorite. There always seems to be a favorite on a stamp set, you know, like the image that you always go to.
Oh, yeah, always. Yeah. And then I will have to stop myself and try and use the other image just so that I'm not using the same one over and over again. So I have my Spellbinders Platinum die cutting and embossing machine. For die cutting, you guys can obviously use whatever die cutting machines you have. I am using the Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock for my die cutting, just because this is the paper I typically use when I craft. And I'm just going to try and fit all of these images here. Maybe they don't all fit, so I'll just cut these two. Okay. And then I have another panel to cut the other image that I need for the card. You can see.
So is there a reason why you use the 80-pound rather than the 110?
That's the one that I have. I do love the 110 pounds much better. And actually, we will be cutting extra layers to back our die cuts up, just because the 80-pound is not as sturdy as I would prefer it to be. So yeah, if you have the 110, go ahead and use the 110. I don't have any left in my stash, so I need to use some. So this is the secret to why we're using this cardstock and not the thicker cardstock.
Yeah, definitely. You always kind of run out of something.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me, actually. You sometimes run out of supplies, and if you don't go ahead and place an order right away, you forget that you need to order those and replenish your stash. I think I ran out of my 110 card stuff a long time, very long time ago, and I just forgot to order it. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking to get additional blank pieces from that same cardstock. You can also use scrap cardstock if you have, just so that we can later double up our die cuts and make them more dimensional, more sturdy. I know some people like to even do 3 layers or 4 layers. I like to do 2 layers and then just use foam adhesive. Okay, so we have those ready, and then I just need to cut one more, and we will be good to go.
Okay, so yes, Sue, we do have new sizes of foam tape coming out. And yes, maybe next month is the time where you can grab those. Helena said, Yana, your cards are amazing, and she loves your cards.
Thank you. Like I said, it's a pleasure to create with Altenew products. They're so inspiring. They're so well designed. It's easy to create with any Altenew set. Okay, so now that we have our die cuts ready, let's go ahead and separate them. We just need to work with one set. Put the other set of die cut pieces aside. We will come back to that later. I'm going to grab my stamp wheel. And I'm going to do the ink blending on the sticky mat of the stamp wheel. The stamp wheel, by the way, is a genius tool. I've not used it before. I did use it for the first time while I was prepping for this live and was making this card, and I loved it. So thank you for sending it to me. Again, brilliant, brilliant little tool.
Okay, yeah. Someone said that your voice is coming across as muffled. Maybe you can move the microphone a little bit closer. Is that possible?
Well, I can just try and move the laptop a little bit closer because it's the laptop.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, and you guys let me know if this is better or if I sound muffled.
No, we're good. I think it's when you were turning around.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries. We just need you to keep your head in the same place.
Yeah, limited space here, so I kind of have to turn and grab and go grab things and things like that. Okay, I'm just looking through my stencils. I'm trying to find stencil layer number 1. Okay, let's go.
So
if the first layer goes with this die cut or if that's the second layer that I use.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure. Here we go. So for the leaf layer, I believe we would be on stencil number 4. Okay. So that means that the flowers would be on stencil number 3.
Okay, so why don't we actually start with the leaf layer?
Yeah, I find that easier, right? Because then you can wiggle the flower a little bit more.
Yes. And with this first layer, this is the trickiest one to align. But once you figure out your layer number 1, you'll be good to go after that.
I love the sticky mat.
Me too. You don't have to pull down anything. You don't have to use your tape. You're just good to go. Okay, so I have my stencil layer, and again, this is layer number 4. I have it attached. I'm going to go ahead and grab my inks. I'm working with this set of Altenew inks. This is the Frosted Foliage. And we're going to start, so we have 4 colors here. I don't want to start with the lightest. I actually want to start with the jade, and then use eucalyptus and finish with the forest fir.
Okay, so we have a question, Yana, from Sue, and it says, do you find it easier to die cut first and then stencil? Is there a reason why you do that?
For this particular set, yes. I have found it was easier for me to cut the image out first and then do the stenciling because we don't have a stamp set here. We don't have an outline to our image. So the die cut provided sort of like a rough outline for the image that I'm about to stencil. Having the image cut out just made it easier for me to align everything. But you can definitely try this the other way around and do the stenciling first, especially if you don't want to back it, if you just want to, stencil on the background. Does that answer your question?
Yep. Thank you, Yana.
So let's go ahead. By the way, first time using the Altenew brushes. I'm a fan. I will say
Yeah.
I like them very much. I very much like how stylish they are. They looked and they feel very nice in my hand, and they look very stylish.
Yeah, they kind of like non-slip the top bit,
Yes.
I would say. But they are very pretty and they work so well.
Yes, I agree. So when I blend, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, did you use the small ones yet?
So I'm using, I have this one.
The mini?
I also have a set of 3 brushes, the detail brushes.
Oh, okay.
I also have this one.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yep. And I have the larger one that sort of slips into like a little container that holds it. It's behind me, so I don't want to turn and grab it because my voice is going to get muffled again.
Yeah, no, we're good. Do you have a preference on the blending tools, or do you think you just need them all?
I think you need all of them or most of them because it really depends on what type of image or what size of area you're blending. You know, if you are blending a background, obviously you need a large blending brush. If you're blending a little tiny detailed area, for example, like an area on this stencil, you will need a small brush, especially if you want to ink blend these using different colors and not do any masking. So you'll probably need the smallest brush that you can find. So having a good variety of brushes in your stash definitely helps. Okay, so our blending is done. And as you can see, I did not do a solid layer of color. I like to have a gradient. I like to fade it out into the white. That just looks a little bit better. Although sometimes I do like to do a solid layer. It just gives a different look. And now that that's done, we can go ahead and do the second layer. Are you guys crafting along with us?
I wonder if anyone is crafting. If you are, please let us know what you have on your desk and what you're doing.
Okay, we're going to grab a different blending brush because I don't want to contaminate the colors.
See, I normally have a blending brush for like the 2 lightest colors in a green and then the 2 darkest colors, but I always just forget and I always go all the way through. So all of my blending tools are just dark.
Well, I'm also like that. Because I have to blend new brushes, I am switching between the brushes. I also have a labeling printer under my desk. And what I have been doing is I have been printing like little labels for my brushes. Here I was working on another project for Altenew that is coming in May, by the way. And I did label these brushes just because I wanted to make sure that I do not contaminate those colors. That was very helpful.
Yeah, we also do have labels for blending brushes.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, so for specific ink colors, you can also get the labels too.
Wow. Well, I have seen the labels for the ink pads, and these are fabulous. But I did not know you guys also have.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if so you can get them, and they would just go on the bottom.
Huh. Cute. Maybe that's something that I need to get for my brushes. Just because
Next order.
Yeah, I want things to look pretty and organized.
Yeah. Oh, and rainbow order is just the best.
It is, absolutely. Okay, so I'm done with my second layer.
And you used the eucalyptus for that one, correct?
Yes, this was the eucalyptus. And now for the third layer, we're going to use the forest fir. By the way, Lydia, is it still daylight over there?
No.
Because it looks so nice and bright. I thought it was still daylight. I'm like, I'm jealous. Because
No,
it's
it's
pitch black here.
yeah, no, it's not light. The amount of lights that I now have,
Okay.
it's bright. Sometimes I blind myself when I'm sat here crafting on a live.
Well, I have, a good number of lights too, but I was just, when we were doing face-to-face conversation at the beginning of the video, I looked so very overlit. Maybe I was just nervous from trying to connect all the things. But yeah, I had to turn them down, and I see that my video is not quite as bright. Do you think I should turn them up a little bit? What do you
You
guys
can
think?
do.
Does this look too dark? Let's.
I mean, we can still see it.
No, but I mean, I can adjust it from my phone. I have this fancy equipment. Might as well use it.
Yeah, as long as you don't blind yourself, I think we'll be okay.
Okay, I think this is a little bit better. By the way, keep in mind there's this little area here. You want to be careful and not blend this, because this is like not a part of this.
Yeah. So you can see that it is a different part with the etching, but you could just put a bit of tape over there maybe.
Yes. And also, like, be careful here. I'm just going to put a little bit of the purple tape so that I protect this area. I get carried away when I'm ink blending, and I get in front of the
Yeah, and you always see those little lines just as you're putting the card together as well, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that beforehand. I love that forest fern color.
It is very pretty. I'm going to go a little bit heavier here, just because I like to have a lot of dark, like vivid color. Okay, so this is done. Beautiful. Your color is a little bit different in your lighting.
Yeah, I think even it's going to look different when different people do it because of the amount of pressure that you naturally put down.
Yes, that is true. Okay, now that we have the leaves blended, we can go back to the flower, and it's going to be easier to blend the flower. Just easier to position and paint everything. So I think we're using layer number 3.
I believe it's layer number 3. Just give me a sec. Oh, maybe it helps if my stencil is the correct way around. But yes, stencil number 3 is the one that we're going to need.
I'm going to set the green inks aside and go ahead and switch to the dried petals set. Actually, what I did for my card, I did the ink blending in reverse order. Sometimes I do that, and I just like to play like that with my cards. I also find that I get like a better, more saturated ink. So what I'm going to do, I know we've attached the stencil, but I'm going to remove this and switch to the most detailed layer. We have the etching there, so it's going to help us position this.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's try something different.
Yeah, so it means with that etching that you can actually do that.
Yeah, the etching is super helpful. Like I said, I was impressed with the stencil, how everything was labeled, how easy it was to position everything and align. It's just, you made things so easy for us crafters.
Because I imagine if you didn't have that etching layer, you wouldn't have been able to do this layer first.
Oh, absolutely not. It would have been impossible to layer everything. And now we're going to go, since we're going in reverse order, we need to start with the darkest ink. In my case, this is the, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, acai berry. Is that
See, I say acai.
Acai? Okay, well, you probably know better than I do.
I don't know. But, that's what Google told me. So
can somebody please ask Google and let us know in the comments what's the correct way to pronounce this ink color? And also, is this some sort of a edible berry, or is this like a really cool tree?
Yeah, I believe it is edible.
I probably should have looked it up online. I also love the different creative names for the ink colors. It's it's nice that the inks are not just like light pink, dark pink. You have all of these creative variations of the different ink colors. I am going to tape the leaves just so that I don't get the ink where it doesn't need to be. I am doing some very heavy blending here. I want to have a lot of this dark color, but you can definitely go lighter or, you know, not do a solid layer. Have a gradient if you want. For this particular color, I really want to have a lot of nice dark color here on the back.
It's so dark.
It is, yes.
It is a very pretty color. I would say it's regal.
It is, I agree. Okay. So this layer is done. So Tracy says that Mr. Google tells us to pronounce it as acai. Am I saying that correctly?
Acai, yeah. So Lisa said I did it correctly.
Cool. Well, now I know. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, I Googled it. I'm just going to use a little bit of Indigo Skies just in the center of mine, just to make mine a little bit darker.
Clever.
We're going to see. We'll see.
I'm now trying to align the medium layer for the flower. I'm going to get in with my head, so excuse my head a little bit.
So because we're putting this second layer down now and we're going over that kind of really dark layer, does that mean that it's going to kind of wash that layer out a little bit or blend it in slightly?
It does. It does. This is why I really needed, or I really wanted that first layer to be dark, or as dark as possible. We can later come back and re-intensify that layer if we want to, but I think it's going to look great at this. So I'm next using Berrylicious, and for this layer, I'm actually going to do a very light hand. So here's my card, and you can kind of see that this second layer is very, very soft hand.
Your card is so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
I find that this little piece here does need a little bit of a hold down with a finger, maybe even a tweezer might even stop that kind of going around.
Yes, yes. When you have little pieces like that, it does help to put them down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my brush, but blend it off to the side first before I bring this color onto my image, just so that I have a very light, very faint application of color. And we're going to do the same thing with our third and final layer, and we're going to use the pink crystal for that. So we're doing a little bit of skipping in this particular card and this particular flower. We're not using the darkest. So let me bring that in set so you guys can see a little better. So this is
we're just going to split in this one.
Yes, we just skip this color and we go directly to pink crystal for our first layer.
Look, Patty, my little holder that I've got my blending brushes in is the actual holder that you get with the artist markers. So if you do have our artist markers, they come in really pretty packaging, but within that packaging, you get this as well. So I took the markers out, I put the markers on, a marker holder, and then I had this spare. So that's the only reason why I have these.
That's a very clever storage solution.
Yeah. I'm quite frugal, so if I can find something that I can use, I'll find it.
Are there any specialty storage cases from Altenew for the Altenew brushes?
For the brushes, for these, so for the small ones, we do have this one, and it fits the small ones in.
That looks
It's so good. And then for these, you can actually go on the Altenew website, and we do have kind of a pre-order going on for a blending brush storage on there that does hold 40 of these, and it is quite pretty.
That's nice.
It's not available just yet, but it's there on the website, so you can have a look at it.
I love how vivid the colors are in the flower. They're very different from mine. Yeah, like you went with a heavy hand, and that looks so bold and so cool. I love it.
Oh, thank you. I think I'm gonna go with the mauve this time though, because I went a little bit more heavy-handed than you. I say a little bit, a lot. I feel that I need the mauve rather than the pink crystal.
Yeah, it's nice to see, the same product, but a different look once you switch to the different colors.
Definitely.
I have switched to a slightly larger blending brush for this layer, just because it's a larger layer. And I'm going to do a very faint application of color. So using a very light hand and just brushing a little bit, barely any color onto the background, because I want the petals to look almost white.
So Tracy's asking, how do you keep your hands clean when crafting?
I don't.
No.
That's my secret. I don't. I mean, I try to, but it's hard to keep them clean. I do have a sink nearby, so I will go and wash them if I notice that. Oops, sorry, guys. I'm not sure if you heard the loud bang. Something dropped in the kitchen. But yeah, I will go and wash my hands if I can. But usually I don't. I just my hands are messy and my hands are dirty all the time. And I get kinky fingers on all of my projects, which I try.
Yeah, I'm forever getting really inky fingers. What I find funny today is that we've both got like white jumpers on. So if we're gonna get messy, we're gonna get really messy. Oh, look how pretty that is.
Oh, your flower is just gorgeous. Now I wish I had used those, vivid colors.
No, I still love yours. I love how kind of pop arty it looks. You got that really bright, the boldness, and then you have the really delicateness around the outside. Yours is really pretty.
Okay, so now that we have these, we also have the two other die cuts that we need to ink blend. And we just go ahead and use the same ink colors for those.
Inkly dokely. So all of those images are on the last stencil, which is not the last stencil, stencil number 5. The last stencil is pretty cool, I think, in this set.
It is very cool. One of my favorites. I like them all, but that one is pretty good.
So this flower could be a little bit tricky, right? Because you have 2 different colors that you need to put on the same one. So how did you get around that?
It's actually very easy. What I did when I was first making my card, when I was just first blending this image, I just blended the pink part. Then once I blended everything else, I came back to this portion, to the stem, and I added the green. But now that I know how to do it, we can do it all at once. So go ahead and use a smaller blending brush, and be careful so that you don't apply too much green over this middle portion. It's better to add less ink and then come back and add more later versus adding too much, because you won't be able to take that ink away.
Yeah, it'll just get muddy.
Yeah. Also, sometimes if you have a bit of green that goes into the pink, I think that's okay, because colors do sort of go like that together in nature. So it's okay. So don't worry if you get a little bit of green overlapping the pink.
So how do you say mauve?
How would I say mauve? I would probably
this color. Do you say it's different than I do? Because I know that there's a lot of different pronunciations for mauve.
I stay away from pronouncing that word.
You just say this color?
Because like you said, there's so many different pronunciations. I'm not typically sure which one is the correct one. But yeah, like mauve or mouth, yeah, yeah.
I've heard mauve a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly, so I will just skip it.
Just skip over it. Just
Yes.
slide over that one.
I almost used the wrong color. Let's go back to pink crystal for my card.
Did I confuse you?
You did. You did. See, being a foreigner, there are some words in English that I don't always know how to pronounce or how to use correctly in a sentence. So my trick is I just substitute those words by other words that I do know how to pronounce and that I do know how to use in a sentence. So this is my secret to English language.
Yeah, but even saying that, there's a lot of words that I don't know how to pronounce, and I'm like, let's Google that.
Yeah. Okay, so I see you are already blending the second layer. I'm just positioning mine. I'm a little behind.
Oh, it's all right. I just get carried away sometimes.
Go to the Very Licious. Now, one of the reasons I did such light ink blending on my main flower was because I wanted to stamp a sentiment across that ink blending. And I did not want the ink blending to be too dark because otherwise the sentiment would not have been legible. So as you can see, here I'm using the same colors, but I'm applying the Berry Licious with a much heavier hand, and it's giving me a much darker color. I don't need to do any stamping here, so I can apply the darker color or use the heavier hand to apply this.
Yeah, I'm going to struggle with mine, maybe.
Well, you probably have a lot more Altenew sentiments in your stash, and you can maybe do like a skinny strip sentiment or something like that. I wanted to use what I had, so I was trying to figure out a best way to add a sentiment without covering too much of the ink blending.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is now my third layer, and this is my final color. And I already forgot how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm just going to focus with this color. I'm going to add a lot of this color at the bottom and fade this at the top. And we have a beautiful flower bed ready. Oh, by the way, there's also a detail layer. Did you already do the detail layer?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, I almost forgot about the detail layer.
I'm just going to use whatever I had on my blending tool for that one. Okay. It's so, so pretty. But I can tell, even just with mine, because we've gone with the lightest layer and then worked up, this is so much more pronounced and defined than this one.
Yes, that one is a lot softer. And sometimes you do want the softer look. But sometimes, like you said, you want the more defined and the crisper.
It's cool that you can kind of change it up just by doing small things like that, though.
Yeah, it's fun to play. You know, I don't think there is a right or wrong way to do it. It's fun to experiment and fun to play.
So Tracy is asking, what is your favorite flower?
My favorite flower, I actually have many flowers that I really like. I like anemones. I like magnolias. I like daisies. So many different flowers. You know, I think it depends on the season. I also really like amaryllis for the holiday season. In fact, I have an amaryllis, or rather, I had an amaryllis flower this holiday season. It gave me beautiful pink blooms, just stunning.
So, do you garden?
Well, no. I mean, my mom likes to garden, and she will try and passed the gardening gene on to me. But no, I don't garden. It's a nice hobby. I just don't have the time, or I don't have the space for it, so I don't. I wish I maybe when I'm older, maybe when I have more time, I will, but not. I think this one a little bit. I should have been holding down the little part.
Yeah, me too. I got a bit of a.
I got carried away chatting.
Yeah, we do, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
I always say if people notice it, then, they might be looking a bit too closely.
Exactly. Oh, I love hydrangeas as well.
Oh, I love them. I have a ton of peonies in my garden, and they only bloom for like 4 days, and then you've just got massive leaves for the rest of the time.
Such a shame, yeah.
Oh, but they're so pretty.
What other flowers do you have in the garden?
I've got a magnolia. That's starting to bud at the minute. My hydrangea is still sleeping. Honeysuckle.
Ooh, nice one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not great. I just plant them and then see if they'll survive. That's kind of my gardening.
We have all of our parts and pieces pretty much ready, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I want this to overlap, or not overlap, go across the flower like I have here on my card.
So do you need to work out your orientation first?
You probably do. So figure out, you might want to like build your card design first. So let's say we have a background. We're not going to glue down, we're not going to glue anything down just yet. But if you want to pre-plan the placement of your images, you can do that. With the baby's breath, I actually cut this one apart and used it as several images.
So I know that you haven't got the Slim Grip mat because we didn't have it when we sent out your supplies, but this will be available soon. So you can kind of have a guide on the back of your stamp wheel when you're kind of creating the card. So you can see here that it's all sticky. It's cool. All right, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do my sentiment. I think I have a plan.
I should have mentioned the faint ink blending and the sentiment placement beforehand, and I apologize.
No, it's all right. Give me a challenge. We're good.
Okay, so I have my placement figured out. I'm going to add the sentiment, and I'm using the sentiment from the Butterfly Garden outlines. So I have the hugs, and I will stamp sentiment. Just sending hugs. You can stamp it in black, or you can also try to use light embossing powder.
Yeah, I'm gonna try because I don't have my embossing gun plugged in. So I'm gonna try and stamp it in white first, and then maybe offset it with the black. So that's how I'm gonna try.
That is beautiful. I'm stamping mine in black ink.
We have a lot of favorite flowers popping up on the chat, which is lovely. Angel wants to be in the garden right now. Tracy said that her mum has 30 orchids.
Oh, wow.
And they put it next to a tree, and then it grows into the tree.
There are so many different orchid varieties. My friend once showed me her orchids, and I couldn't believe that those were orchids because the leaves were so different. I was amazed.
I have an orchid that is above my kettle, and because I have that many coffees in a day, it really likes it, and it just blooms like constantly.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So how is your sentiment coming along?
So I've stamped it a couple of times in white, and now I'm gonna kind of go over how it goes. Oops. I think something just dropped on your computer there, Yana.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have stencils sitting on top of my computer. But I have limited space.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm as I'm working on my card, I'm setting things aside, and I already have everything on, to the left and to the right and behind me. So there's only space left in front of me, and in front of me there's my laptop. I forgot that the phone is right there too.
I had to change my room around just so I could have room to the side. Okay, it's kind of working. You could definitely use some embossing powder if you wanted it a bit bolder. Okay, so what are you doing there yet then, Yana?
I was just grabbing my embossing supplies. I'm going to wait for you to finish the sentiment. By the way, that looks really nice. I love that white shadow. Oh, that looks so gorgeous.
That's only happened because we made a mistake. So look, when you make mistakes, everyone, you can change it around.
Sometimes mistakes lead to even better results.
Yeah, definitely have a play around with it. Even if you think you're going wrong, just keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so next we need to create a background. So for this card, I used the last stencil. So this is stencil number 6, and we have this beautiful text. And I embossed it on white cardstock. And it gave me just a little bit of detail. It's not as prominent as when you do embossing with embossing powder, or excuse me, with an embossing folder. I'm trying to read the comments and I'm trying to talk at the same time, and clearly that is not working. Not as prominent as when you do embossing with an embossing folder, but you can definitely emboss with your stencils for a little subtle background. So what we are going to do, I'm trying once again not to put things on my laptop to mess up the sound. If you have these Spellbinders embossing, die cutting and embossing machine, you can emboss with the stencils, or you can also emboss with your dies, because you have the embossing mat. So the sandwich for embossing is you need your platform base. You also need your platform top. Then you need your embossing mat. Place the paper, add the stencil on top, and then cover that with one cutting plate and send that through the machine. Nope.
Okay, so we're just using a light gray for this, a light gray cardstock.
I made a mistake. Hold on there. Sandwich.
No worries.
The top plate is not a cutting plate. You need an adapter plate.
Okay.
Great.
I'm glad that you were telling me how to do this, because I wouldn't have known.
Well, actually, all of that is detailed here.
Oh, okay.
On the platform base or on the platform top. But we don't always read instructions, do we? We
don't.
Just like to create without pausing for the instructions.
We just have a play. That goes through really smooth.
Yes. And remember, if it doesn't want to go through, don't force it, because that's how you can break your machine. So let's take a look. I hope you guys can see this.
Oh, I had a bit of dirt on mine.
Okay, maybe you can cover that up with a flower.
We'll be fine.
Maybe a little sequin or a little embellishment.
I mustn't have cleaned my stencil very well.
So now we have our background. We have our ink blended images, and we also have the blank die cuts that we created. I'm going to grab my glue and adhere the two together.
Okay, I'm just gonna go straight in with foam tape because I'm lazy. I am. I like lining things up like that. It's not my favorite. Also, I ran out of wet glue, so
Well, yeah.
we're definitely in with foam tape today. I wonder. I know that the kind of writing is writing on there, but because I've got that mark on there, I am going to flip mine around so it's upside down, but I don't think it's going to cause that much of an issue.
I don't think so. I think it's going to look fine. It's not legible anyway, so you should be fine.
So I'm doubling over my foam tape, but
Ooh.
I will not need to do this for much longer, just so everyone knows.
Oh.
I know.
So we're getting a little hint of what's coming.
I know. I'm so bad at keeping secrets. So, yeah.
So can you tell us when that is coming?
It may be in the first couple of weeks of February. It might not be, but it may be.
Well, exciting. Something to look
it
forward.
is. It's so good.
So do you usually double up your foam tape?
Not normally, but because I had part of it doubled up already, I thought, oh, may as well. But like for some of them, I will not add double foam tape. So for the bud itself, I would just use one because you want to get that different variant layers, right?
Yes. And do you guys also have foam squares or just the foam tape?
We have foam tape, no squares at the minute. So did you chop him up, the little baby's breast?
I did. So here is what I did. This is what I did.
Okay, so just that tiny piece.
Yeah, you can chop it up more if you want to, but I figured that this looks good for me.
It's just giving him a little bit of a haircut.
Yep.
Actually, I might go with that piece there too.
You know what? I think you've inspired me to double up my foam tape as well.
Yeah, go for it. You've got a huge roll there. You may as well.
Yeah. By the way, the packaging of this roll is also amazing.
So pretty. And the release tape is so easy to peel off. Sometimes, you struggle and you have to get tweezers on it, but not with this.
I agree. Very, very nice and high quality product.
It definitely is. I'm just going to move that down slightly.
So now when you are adhering your flower, just make sure that your sentiment is straight. I think this is good. Okay. I'm going to add my bud. I'm going to trim the bud just because it doesn't fit under my flower. The stem doesn't fit.
So Audrey said, since I'm bad at secrets, can you tell us about the doves? If you mean the very pretty kind of dove die cuts that you may have been seeing, they may be part of the the Creative Cuts series. So you may be able to check those out maybe in February as well.
Any other secrets you can share?
I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing all of these.
Well, I won't tell anybody.
I know, I just can't help myself. I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna add this on. Oh, he's already stuck. So, do you like splatter, Yana? Your card-
I do. Not always though. Like there are
Yeah.
cards where I will add splatter, and then there are cards where I won't add any splatter. You know, like for a clean and simple card, I
Mhm.
won't add any splatter. But for a card like this, for example, I think splatter is kind of fitting because we have that old script background, and that sort of lends itself to splatter.
Oh, it does. And also because it's kind of artsy in a way, you know,
Very
like the
true.
really
Yes. Yeah.
look that you've got. I'm not happy with how he's looking, so I'm just going to move him up.
I like how yours looks.
Snip him. I just can't get out of the, you know, the, I don't know, habit of putting a triangle of something down.
Well,
So,
yes.
here we go.
I'm just going to trim the leaves because I want to have a clean edge here. And we just need to add this onto a card base, and our card is done.
It's so pretty.
I love your sentiment. Seriously, I think I should have, I wish I tried that myself. I really like how that looks with the shadow.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have even tried this if I hadn't have gone so heavy-handed.
Happy mistakes.
Yep, happy mistakes. Okay. So please let us know if there are any questions. We've got about 2 minutes before we will end this one. Yana, I am loving it. So which one was the one that you created before the live?
It's this one. You can see that the ink blending is slightly different.
Yeah.
I think I used a lighter hand, especially on that, you know, the detail, the third layer. But it's fun, you know, it's like we use the exact same ink colors, but we get different results every time.
Yeah, I just love the deepness that we have on that one.
Yeah. And I love the colors that you used.
Same colors as you did. I just went at it. I couldn't help myself. All right. Okay. All right. Can you move yourself up, please, Yana, so we can say goodbye?
Yes. Let me quickly do this. Okay. Can you guys see my face?
Ooh. Yes, we can. Sorry. And yes, we did change the time of this one so we could have the lovely Yana be not so quite sleepy as she would be if it was at 2:30 EST. So we did change that, but don't worry, you can watch this this live on the replay, and you can watch it as many times as you want. Mary, I'm actually from Wales, which is in Great Britain. So that's it. That's me. All right. Okay.
Yes, I do apologize. We had to change the time. I asked if we could change the time. It's almost 8 p.m. here for me in Ukraine. And I didn't want it to be too late in the day.
No.
So,
we don't want you to be too sleepy. And we appreciate that you've stayed, you know, that we've done this. So even that slight time change, I think we're going to be good. And people, again, are going to be able to watch the replay if they really want to as well. All right. So I don't think we have any more questions, but I did want to say, if you did want to spend some more time with Yana and Altenew products, you can check out the Secret Garden Retreat that is happening in May. So please check that out. I'm sure the lovely Angel will pop the link in so you can go and purchase that if you wanted to. I have to say the products in that release are amazing.
They are.
And the only way to get them is in the class. So I actually got them through the other day and I was like, oh, I need to show people these. But because, you know, the only way to get it is in the class, I'm kind of holding back a bit so I don't get people upset if they don't class it.
The class kit is fantastic. My box came the other day and I was just, wow. Seriously, so many amazing designs. It's inspiring. It's very inspiring. And I'm sure that the class projects and the tutorials are going to be fabulous.
I can't wait because we're going to have the class and then we're also going to have extra things that you can create with those products as well. So you're going to be able to maximize everything that you've got and then create your own spin on them. All right. Thank you so much, Yana.
Thank you, Lydia. It's been fun. Thank you for inviting me. I was a little bit nervous, or a lot nervous, but I'm glad we did this. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you again. Thank you for having me. Thank you for sending me the beautiful products. It's been a pleasure creating with them.
It's been lovely. Thank you, Yana. I will invite you back again and again, as long as you're not scared about the crafty goblin.
Well, we have figured out the technical part, so the next time it should be easier.
Sorted. All right. Okay. Thank you again, everyone, for spending some time with us. Thank you to the fabulous Angel for popping in all of the links, even though we sometimes didn't mention what ink color we were using. But thank you, Angel, for getting them in. We really do appreciate you spending your time with us. And we really do hope that you have a fabulous rest of your day and that you have a great weekend. Goodbye from me. And goodbye from Yana. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.